I had just gone for a run, I'm a big runner, went for a swim in the lake, and we were just like kind of sitting out in the chairs, looking over a lake and trying to figure out if we were gonna buy the Asher. And it was a huge leap for us. I mean, this was gonna be our second vacation home. We did not see ourselves as real estate investors, but I just in my gut knew that if it was something that I was passionate about, and I knew that at least in our market, someone was not doing what I wanted to do, of kind of creating beautiful spaces. And I just felt like I would go to it, my friends would go to it, and I think others would too. And we made an offer on the Asher literally that day.
Welcome to Field & Lake. Field & Lake is a luxury hospitality company founded by Sara Roitman, focused on creating gorgeous luxury vacation rentals in the Midwest and beyond. Hey folks, quick question for you before we dive into today's video. So have you ever been scrolling on Instagram and seen these gorgeous Airbnbs that look like they're fresh out of a Restoration Hardware or Dwell magazine? And have you ever wondered to yourself, how the heck did these hosts afford to furnish their spaces so elegantly? Well, I wondered the same thing, and that's when I realized that the reason these hosts are able to afford to furnish their spaces so well is because they have access to a secret that some of the best short-term rental hosts use, and that secret is none other than Minoan. So what exactly is Minoan? Minoan is a completely free and really easy to use platform to help you manage everything that you need to furnish your short-term rental. If you have more than one short-term rental, chances are you use a property management system, something like a Guesty or an Uplisting. Well, think of Minoan as your system for everything that you need to furnish your homes. Minoan provides hosts with a one-stop shop for hundreds of discounts on the world's leading brands, enabling you to order, manage shipping, basically everything that you need to furnish or refresh your properties, you can do quickly and easily through Minoan. Oh, and the best part, again, it is totally free. It's almost too good to be true, except for the fact that it is, in fact, true. And if you thought Minoan couldn't get any better, well, that's where you'd be wrong, my friend. Stay tuned for more info in just a few minutes that'll make you want to sign up for Minoan the minute this video is over.
I'm Sara Roitman. I'm a recovering lawyer. For a while, I was on a career track with law and I was really enjoying it and kind of achieved all the things you're supposed to. I made partner young. I always kind of knew what my path was. I worked in New York City and Chicago for over a decade, representing Fortune 100 companies. And just increasingly, I found that really what I wanted to do was follow this other passion and just have something that felt much more creative and entrepreneurial. And then in 2022, really last year, I decided to pivot full time to Field & Lake, my company, and trying to build a unique hospitality brand. I am an East Coaster by heart. I grew up in the East Coast. I grew up outside of Boston, spent my summers on Cape Cod, New Hampshire, and that East Coast spirit is still very much a part of me. I never thought I would be living in the Midwest in a million years, and as one does, I met a boy, and he is originally from Wisconsin, and so we're raising a family in Chicago. I've got 3 young kids. So I have always loved design and real estate and travel, and I think kind of hospitality and the short-term rental space brings all of those together. I wanted to really build a brand. Like, I didn't just want to be putting these houses up on Airbnb just to collect income and pay the mortgage, which is obviously what a lot of people do and is totally legitimate. But for me, I wanted really something tangible that I felt like I could grow. And so the first thing I knew is I needed a name. Our 2 houses are on a lake, so they're on Lake Michigan, but we're also surrounded by cornfields, and it's corn and soybeans and wheat, and I just love watching the changing seasons of those fields. So I played around with it, and then Field & Lake was born.
There are so many incredible entrepreneurs building one-of-a-kind tree houses, over-the-top A-frames, and unforgettable container hotels. But Field & Lake reminds us that unique is not a type of home, nor a collection of a particular set of amenities, but rather a feeling.
You know, I look at some other short-term houses and they have like amazing architecturally designed cabins and A-frames that are just so stunning. I think our strengths are a little bit different. So our houses are, great and beautiful and everything, but it really is what's inside them. It's coming up with all of these different amenities that I think are going to want to make guests stay and linger. It's not only having a well-designed home, which is so important, but it's having a beautiful wood-burning fireplace that you want to get cozy with. It's having, at the Asher, like a freestanding bath that you want to just have this spa-like experience there, a beautiful coffee maker that I don't have at home. When I'm traveling to a boutique hotel, I love all these small little luxuries that they have that I don't have at home that just elevate my space and make me so excited to be there. Coming up with the design and the curation, it's the most fun part. It's so hard. I mean, I struggle over what coffee table to pick, like everyone else. It doesn't come really easily to me. Really where I look is boutique hotels and interior designers, much more so I would say than like the Airbnb space. I have interior designers that I love, Amber Interiors, Studio McGee's, Nate Berkus, and I spend a lot of time like looking at their spaces. Sometimes I even like mimic them. I'm like, I'm gonna go find that couch. Like, I'm gonna go find that coffee table. It is a business and it needs to be profitable and you need to track things. So how do you work with a company like Minoan or other ones to really maximize costs when you're having to purchase different furniture or whatever for your home?
Today's hospitality entrepreneurs understand the importance of owning the entire guest experience, which is why building acquisition channels outside of OTAs like Airbnb and Vrbo is so important. Working with creators and influencers to produce lifestyle content has become a must-do for cultivating owned channels and audiences, but discerning who to work with and how to work with them is challenging.
So influencers or creators are a huge part of our marketing strategy. I think they're incredibly helpful. That said, I had no experience with it before. I mean, as a lawyer, you don't work with influencers. So I was a babe in the woods. So we're on Lake Michigan. Our summers book up a year in advance. I knew that I could get people here July, August, those would be popular. What I didn't know, however, is whether the seasonality concerns and how that would impact our business. And that was definitely a major concern I had of who's gonna come to Wisconsin in March. Where I knew that I needed to have help with that is through the marketing. And so what I've spent a lot of time in is working with influencers to kind of highlight our houses in the off season and photographs of how cozy our houses can be in front of a fire, or Lake Michigan in January is gorgeous. I think about it in 3 different buckets. So first bucket, influencers who you work with if you want to expand your network. I want to expand my following. I want to get more audience, a broader audience. I think that there are influencers that are great with that, and they're people with obviously a wide following, but a loyal following, people who are super engaged. That's one value. Then I think of it a different one of content creation. People that I want to partner with, that I think they're going to come to my home, and in exchange for a stay, they will create beautiful content, whether that's photographs or reels or video content. And maybe they don't have the largest following, but the content that they're going to create is going to be something that I can use in our marketing, our website. That's the value. And then the third bucket would be content that I pay for, and ultimately for me, our photographs and the way we show our houses was so important to our brand that I work with stylists a lot. I work with interior photographers that mostly do interior designer shoots. And for those, it's not a partnership. I straight pay for it, and there's a real value in that. For me, what was so important was coming up with a clear branding strategy early on and being consistent with it, because then it kind of informs when you get influencer content. Is this something that I feel is consistent with the Field & Lake brand that I'm trying to create, or is this something that just feels like a distraction or too casual for us?
All right, friends, it's me again with just a little bit more info about Minoan membership. So in addition to being the one-stop shop where you can access hundreds of discounts from the world's leading brands, Minoan also helps hosts make additional money by making their spaces shoppable in a subtle but sophisticated sort of way. Here's how it works. So let's say a guest messages you during their stay remarking about the beautiful night of sleep that they just had. And they actually want to know what mattress is in the primary bedroom because they want to go home and buy a mattress for their primary bedroom because they had such a wonderful night's sleep. As it turns out, that mattress was a purple mattress. And if you help influence that sale, Minoan thinks that you should get a little cut of that sale. And their technology helps all of that happen in a simple, easy, and effective way, enabling you to make a little bit of extra change from a stay if you do in fact help influence a guest's purchasing decision. Minoan's technology enables hosts to earn commissions on everything from sofas to coffees to soaps and shampoos. Minoan helps you save on high-end furnishings up front, and if you want, earn a little bit of extra cash anytime a guest purchases a product that they first fell in love with while on vacation in your short-term rental. Sign up for free at minoanexperience.com and be sure to tell the team that Zach and your friends at Behind the Stays sent you their way.
Like every great entrepreneur, Sara spends a significant amount of her time each week thinking about growth. There are no shortage of opinions from the hospitality and short-term rental community on how you should scale, but here's how Sara thinks about it.
My focus now is strategic growth and future acquisitions and figuring out where the company wants to go, researching different markets, thinking about how we grow consistently and cohesively with our brand. I have to go to places that I know and I love and that I want to go and my family wants to go. So Scottsdale, Arizona, for example, a huge Airbnb short-term rental place. I know nothing about Scottsdale. I'm not going to add value there in a way that I'm going to add value to a place that I know exactly where to go. I know it's going to draw it. It feels personal to me. We are probably never going to be one of those companies that has 200 homes all over the place. Our goal for the next 10 years is to have a collection of 10, 12, a dozen really beautifully curated homes. Do I think about an exit strategy? Like, of course, I have to as someone who is a real estate investor, and we are putting in a lot of money into this business and wanting to make sure that we're having an effective rate of return, regardless of how you're calculating that. The nice model that we have now is that we have these individual homes, and there is a benefit to that in the sense of the company could be sold as a company, as a portfolio company, and there's different investors and kind of markets for that. But there is comfort in knowing that we also can just sell them as individual homes. In the immediate short term, I'm figuring out, do I do a new build, which I think presents a lot of really fun opportunities, potentially of bringing in this idea of having a space that's architecturally stunning, but still embodies our warm interiors and layered and lots of detail and kind of all these curated spaces that we've become known for. Or do I do just where, again, I find an ugly house and I make it pretty, which is what I've done with these last two houses, and go in that direction. A lot of it probably, frankly, will turn on the deal and where I can kind of find the spaces, and that's where the unsexy part comes in of real estate ordinances and where you can be a short-term rental host right now and where the market is kind of allowing you to get the most return on your investment. And then really just build this brand out to have it be kind of recognizable and a destination in and of itself.
Finally, we asked Sara to describe the ethos of Field & Lake in just one sentence.
Field & Lake is if a beautiful, sophisticated boutique hotel and a cozy, intimate vacation home had a baby. And together, that's Field & Lake.
Sara invites you to book a stay at Field & Lake or connect with her to learn more about how she's building her hospitality company by visiting fieldandlake.com. If you like this video, please let us know by subscribing and leaving a comment below.